There are Americans protesting in the street against the war with Iran right now, and here is a video of Nick, who has gone around to speak to these protesters live on the ground, boots on the ground, and this is the power of influence. Let's take a look.
We don't get to tell other countries what to do.
Okay.
If I came into your house and told you what to do, would you take that serious?
No, I would not take
You know how many people, I mean, well, you know this because I know you saw Tucker Carlson. How many people live in Iran?
Around 90 million.
Exactly. Like that is almost 1/3 of the people that live in the United States. You want to go tell Central America what they're going to do? Do you like it when another state comes and tells your state what to do? We don't get to do that. We get to talk, we get to have agreements, we get to negotiate. Like I want to see Donald Trump. I called the White House the other day.
Really? You called them?
I did.
What'd you say?
I said, please, 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 no matter what, do not go to war with Iran. I said, please, no matter what, go.
I don't want us to go to war.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we're all in agreement on this, but be careful about where you're getting your messaging because, like you're saying, you're like, you need to talk about diplomacy. You need to talk about the fact that that America is not on the right side of history in this situation. We need to talk about America's rightful place in the world. We are 4% of the global population. We do not get to and we have pissed off all of these countries over the last 80 years. Go back and learn the history of these countries and what America has done. None of them like us, and it's well-deserved. We have crashed and destroyed their economies. We have bled them dry. We have made them victims of the IMF. Like, we can go back and apologize, but I think our days of, like, being the big bad, like, again, we were in a forever war. We couldn't win it. We never won it. I don't care who drew it. You know why Donald Trump didn't take us out of it? Because it was hard. Joe Biden did the hard work, and you saw what happened. People died. It was awful. That was going to happen under everybody. Because if Donald Trump could have done it any better, he would have. I want you to think about that. It didn't matter. They are just little leaders at the top of this, like, you know, what did Hassan say the other day? America's just five global weapons manufacturers in a trench coat.
Who's Hassan?
Hassan, he's a podcaster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the Young Turk's nephew or whatever it is. Anyways, though, but no, I mean it's just a saying. Like all we are is a weapons manufacturer. I don't want to be that. Like I
just want America to be the top nation in the entire world.
Well, why do we have to be the top? Why can't we just be a good nation?
Why would you be anything but first?
Why does it matter if you're first?
I want to be a winner. No one likes losing.
But being
you want to be most respected.
No. Like, but first is not respected. Like you're talking about like winning a race. Like
that's why we're also a target because we are number one. So everyone wants to take down number one.
But why aren't we a target? Because of all the shitty things we've done overseas.
What do you mean?
We've overthrown like the governments of like 10 different countries since like the inception of this. You know, like since the 50s. Like Iran is a state in the current state that it is because the CIA overthrew their government. You don't do these things and there's an instantaneous change or there's an instantaneous reaction or the impact is instantaneous. Mm-hmm. You see it over decades.
I wonder if she would be saying this if Iran completed their nuke program and attacked the United States.
So that's
history is not perfect by any means. There's a lot of things that we could have done better. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's not that it's not perfect. It's just that it's like it is way more complicated, and that's why it's like when you're saying we need to be number one.
Sorry, you know what's interesting? It's like if they did complete the program and then they said, you know, we're gonna hit the United States with our nuke. You know what people like her would say? They would complain that the United States didn't use its security and intel and forces well enough to prevent it and create actual defense systems from them not getting attacked. That's what she would say. But now suddenly that they're doing that, it's an issue.
I'm just saying.
I would much rather be number one than number two.
What would be wrong with being number two? Who's number two?
Being number two would suck.
Why?
Have you ever ran track? You know how bad it sucks to come in second when you could have been first?
Track. This is a country.
I know, but
no, like
you want to be number one.
You want to be number one in economies. You want to be number one in attractiveness. You want to be number one in life expectancy. You want to be number one. That doesn't come from being number one at war.
That's part of it. You want to be number one in everything.
Like
if we're talking about all that, you want to be number one in everything.
But if you want to have the kind of war, if you want to have the kind of military where all you can do is just go crush every country in the world, you're not going to have the focus that you need to have on the people in the country. You can't. Again, it's pie. There's only, I mean, we're $36 trillion in debt. You know who gets to pay that, honey? You and me.
I know.
Like, that's
we're
war.
in a lot of debt.
That's war. That's the cost of war. That's not student loans. That's not, veterans. That's not Social Security, disability. That is all that is all war money. You are going to pay for the rest of your life for people to drop bombs on other countries where they're going to hate.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, which is why I'm telling you, like, when you're like, it doesn't, here's the thing is, I don't care what the CCP did. I don't care what Donald Trump said. I don't care if Joe Biden got, I don't care. Right now, we're moving forward, and moving forward means we stand out here in a corner, whether you are black, white, blue, red, whatever, and we all agree what we are not doing is going to another fucking war.
Yeah, I don't want to get to another war.
And I say that because I have children the same age as you, and I don't want to see them do to you what they did to the guys that I went to school with. I don't want to see you wandering around with a gun, paranoid, like my brother-in-law is. And that's going to happen if we don't find some adults in the room to stop acting like it's more important to be number one at war than it is to be number one at life expectancy of children.
Well, you certainly don't want to be number 2 in war, because that means you lose.
You know what? I mean, by how? The greatest people at war never go to war.
That's why Switzerland's such a great country, man. But unfortunately, we're in this position right now. We got to figure it out. So
we're not in this position. Benjamin Netanyahu is in the position.
I know, Netanyahu.
Like, we don't have to be in this position. That's why we're out here, too, because we're trying to be proactive.
I hope Trump makes the right decision, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
right?
Thanks for letting me take up your time. I really appreciate it. Young man, I hope you learned some stuff today about Iran.
I know, we're learning a lot out here, talking a lot, too. Are you a professor or what? Are you a professor?
No.
I think we agree on a lot more things than we disagree, man. Like, we just...
You gotta remember, I come from a Mormon background. Like, I grew up religious. I grew up with all of this stuff. It was really when I got an education that I realized the world is a lot bigger than what I thought it was. And I just realized, like, a lot of the stuff they're telling me to focus on is bullshit. This is what really matters. Like I said, they're going to take my kid, they're going to take my taxes, and then I have to talk to people who are like, yeah, by the way, I'm here because my country is so war-torn that, I can't live there anymore. Like, if we have a refugee crisis, the best way to stop a refugee crisis is to stop making refugees through war and global warming.
Global warming. Thank you very much, man.
That's a story for another day.
Thank you very much. What do we got here today? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Doing great. What brings you out here today?
Well, actually, my brother and I are going to a concert at Merrimore Park, and this is where I'm meeting him.
Oh.
And it just so happened to be that there's a protest going on, and I'm kind of interested in knowing more about it.
Do you think the United States should go to war with Iran?
Probably not. The U.S. is kind of like the king of wars, and seems to be a pattern.
We do always get ourselves into war somehow, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get ourselves in another war.
Yeah, I just know that war in general is bloody. It's emotionally and physically traumatizing, so if it's going to happen, we need a pretty damn good reason for it. And from what I've read today, there is no evidence that Iran is planning on using nuclear weapons against Israel, just like there was never any proof of weapons of mass destruction during the Second Gulf War.
This is the same regime that makes it so clear on social media, and every time they have an opportunity to speak to people like this, that their goal is to destroy the state of Israel and then come for them. And it's just fascinating to me that this is just missed and right over their heads every day. It's fucking bananas.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. Do you think Iran has a nuclear weapon or not? Because that's like the whole entire premise of if the United States gets in this war or not.
You know what I did want to ask you guys, before I start protesting and then later think, what if I'm wrong? If it did have a nuclear weapon, do you think there would be a better solution than war?
You probably need to stop the nuclear weapon, right?
Yeah.
Before it gets sent to you.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that it's a lie. I wouldn't jump to conclusion, but we want war to be a last resort. Do we need more people to get killed to prevent a few deaths?
Yeah. Right now, the way the United States would get into it, from my understanding, is because Iran has this place where this nuclear facility underneath this mountain, and it's like, I want to say it's like 300 feet deep underneath. Not quite sure exactly, but I know it's like a couple hundred feet deep, and the United States had this bomb called the Bunker Buster.
The Bunker Buster?
Yeah, so it'd be sent over it'd be sent over in a jet, and then it would go penetrate into the ground, and then it would essentially destroy their nuclear facility. that's underneath this mountain. But the
Okay.
United States has this bomb. Israel doesn't. So that's like, if the United States does enter into this war, it would be like precision attacks on these nuclear facilities.
Okay.
I don't think it'd really be boots on the ground, but it'd be these precision attacks. That's what veterans have told me. That's what I've been watching on the news as well. They say the bunker buster would go in and poof.
Wow.
Would you support a war? Would you support a war if that was the case? If it was fought through air, and as far as precision attacks, not physical troops on the ground? Because, for instance, Israel and Iran, Iran, however you want to say it, there's gaps. It's not like they're neighboring countries. You got to go through Syria and other countries, whatnot, to go over. So you have to fly over. And so it'd be, if the war did happen, it would most likely be a war fought through the air, through these precision attacks.
Okay, so are you saying that, like, in order for this war to happen, Israel would have to fly over a few countries to get to Iran?
Exactly.
And so
That's what they've been doing.
are
They've
you
been launching
thinking
these
that
missiles.
not only is there no proof that Iran is planning any nuclear attacks, but the methods used to prevent this supposed attack are deadly to the countries that are between Israel and Iran?
Potentially, it could be.
Okay.
Because Israel has control of the air force of the air right now. Like they've taken control of the air around Iran. So, like, their air force is in control of the airspace over there.
Okay, it sounds like what you're describing is fighting fire with fire.
Yeah, you'd have to be fighting fire with fire, which, unfortunately,
I mean,
is.
really, the
And
only...
Israel's taken out like more than 20 of their leaders at this point, their military leaders and their nuclear scientists as well. And they've been launching these missiles at these nuclear facility sites.
Wow. Yeah, my general belief is the best time to fight any kind of fight, whether it's a war or a fist fight, is if you're going to get hurt anyway. If not, then there's many ways to fight mentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't want to be the one getting punched. You want to be the one doing the punching, right?
Right.
You don't want to be the reactor. You want to be on the offense.
And if you jog on a regular basis, you may not even have to throw that punch. You might be able to run.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Well, thank you.
You know, the analogy he gave at the end is basically what the United States is doing. They have not killed too many civilians. They have limited the amount of civilians that are killed in these attacks. They literally just only used B-2s to drop what was necessary into the actual compounds where they were building the nukes. It's not like you had some massive attack on civilian neighborhoods in residential areas in Tehran. It's not what happened. They literally went specifically. That's what a targeted, actually calculated, precise attack is done. That is what militaries are required to do. That is what happened. And I can't imagine that many of the people who are protesting at this protest saw any of the footage of Iran's continued missile strike against Israel the past 2 weeks, how they broke the ceasefire 2 days ago, what they have done. They haven't seen it. And if they have seen it, they ignore it. You can't ignore it if you're going to go protest like that. You're entitled to your own opinions. You are not entitled to your own facts, especially when there are facts that you're willfully choosing not to include. You know, I have a lot of respect, not a lot of respect, but I have more respect for those that maybe have a completely different opinion than I do, but use facts that we can both agree on and pull, even if it's ones that don't help their opinion, to actually not make an argument, but give them the credibility for them being able to understand what's also happening at the same time. But they make it seem like this is just a very simple black and white, like the US chooses to just get itself in wars. They want to fight this war. Maybe it's going to be boots on the ground soon. Now we're going to have US soldiers being killed, and now suddenly we're all screwed. We're 36, 37, 38 trillion dollars in debt. And it's like they don't see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is like, miss, your home is in jeopardy. You want to talk about your children, your children's life is in jeopardy. Why? Well, because people on the other side of the ocean who promise every day of their life, including the leaders, to kill you, we're building a nuke, have promised to go from the little Satan to the big Satan. And you live in the big Satan, and the big Satan has to do its job, which is protect it. So you should thank them. Doesn't matter if it was Kamala or Trump, or Joe or Schmo or Poe. It's the fact that it's being done. Thank you so much for all your support. See you next video. If you want to continue the conversation, you can support my work for free. Discord does not cost a thing. It is the best way to connect with me and others who are seeking the truth. The link is in the description. But if you want to take it one step further, my Patreon gives you access to the Israel you don't see, uncovering the untold stories of what mainstream media does not show you. The link is in the description, and it helps me to continue this work. Or if you're just looking to help this thing go, PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee is a really easy way to support me. This channel, this work does not happen without all of you. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you next time.